If that doesn't sync the audio, then I don't know what will. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about all things cruelty-free. If you've watched me for a while, you may know this already, but if not, I have been cruelty-free for about 4 years now. It just kind of happened super naturally. In that time, I feel like I've just gained a wealth of knowledge and experience on the subject. And so I thought today, I've never actually made a video on how to go cruelty-free, and it actually might be really useful for some people. So here we are. So yes, I've been cruelty-free for 4 years. I made the change because when I was making videos, I've made videos for years and years, I made a video on just some new makeup I'd got in, and in the comments everyone was saying, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're using products tested on animals. And I thought, what? How do I not know about this? Gave it a Google and quickly realised that if this went really against my personal beliefs about animal testing, and if I wanted to be the change that I wish to see in the world, I was going to have to make some changes to my makeup bag. And then by extension, my perfumes, my toothpaste, my deodorant, it kind of expands from there. And through that process, I've learned some things, and I thought it might be nice to share them with you today. So for those of you that don't know, despite it being illegal under EU law, there are companies who still test cosmetics on animals. And by cosmetics, I'm including all bath and body products. There are some very grey areas, I believe there's some companies that test anti-aging creams under the guise of them being drugs, which is super bad, obviously. However, the biggest culprit at the moment is China. If you sell a product in China, you have to agree to it getting taken off the shelves and tested on animals randomly, at random points, even if it's already been proven to be dermatologically completely safe. So it's super frustrating. It's an old law, and I know there are companies working with China and the lawmakers to hopefully end that practice. But right now, I personally don't feel comfortable buying any products that are tested on animals, and so they will be if they are sold in China, and that's a kind of benchmark for what's cruelty-free and what's not. Obviously there's more weird underhand stuff, but in general that's the way that a lot of people judge what is cruel and what is cruelty-free. I'm going to leave a bunch of resources in the description so that you can learn more yourself as well, because I am probably not phrasing this very well. I've done minimal research, just existence for this video. So yeah, in my hopeful little world, I am optimistic that within about 5 years' time, all products will be cruelty-free. Everything that's sold in the European Union is not allowed to be tested on animals. I believe they got a very similar ban in America, but it's just that Chinese law that's holding us all back. I've got lipstick all over this. This is so gross. For me personally, I feel quite uncomfortable on the idea that a product that I use for my cosmetic enhancement, I guess, is that what you can call it? Or for fun, for pleasure, that I'm using a product that is so detrimental to something's life that just gives me some weird heebie-jeebies, and that there are so many alternatives to doing that thing, and it can be affordable and easy. I just felt like there were not enough arguments for me to keep buying these products that were not cruelty-free. So that's why I personally switched. A lot of people have a multitude of reasons and things that affect them more personally, or things that they feel more passionate about. But that was mine. As a heads up, I know a lot of people can get very passionate, and I think that's super, super important because that's what creates change. However, I'd really like it if in the comments we could be quite respectful of other people's journeys and experiences. I want this to be a safe place where you can comment and learn and educate each other. Yeah, I know we're all passionate about it, or everyone who's coming to this video might be learning a lot. So, I want to make sure everyone feels comfortable talking and safe. And if we can all try and create that in the comments, that would be so great. Ah, that's nice. I'll get this moral stuff over in a second, but I think there's a lot of people who have the argument, well, why aren't you vegan as well? Why aren't you doing X, Y, Z, not taking flights? And I just feel whatever you can do is really important, and I know some people will disagree with that, and that's absolutely fine. The nuance of opinion is really important in human life. I just think doing something is better than doing nothing. So this was my first step in, and I'd love to encourage other people to make that first step in as well. Obviously, a lot of it's about privilege, and a lot of it's about the decisions you can afford to make. But if you're in the same position that I am, where you can afford to make those decisions, it would be great if you joined me. Anyway, now we've done the hows and whys, let's talk about where you can start if you're also interested. I've got my little Trello board made on my notes. So if you've had a little read, you've done some investigating, and you've decided you want to go cruelty-free, where the heck do you begin? The first step I made, and I think the best step you can make, is educate yourself. Education, education, education. Get on the websites, learn what is cruelty-free and what's not. You don't have to memorize it all. I've got pretty much a document in my head, it feels like now, where I know everything. But that's been years and years and years of working in this like influencer beauty lifestyle industry, and like just going and shopping. It really would not be normal for everyone to have that. So there are 2 sites that I really recommend that are updated regularly. They're blogs. They're called Cruelty-Free Kitty and Logical Harmony. I'll link them both below. They are wonderful resources for all things cruelty-free, and also explaining why certain products are not cruelty-free. Like, some people kind of claim the label now because they think it's quite cool, but they are still selling in China, and it just isn't quite there yet, which is so frustrating. They also explain why companies like PETA, with their review of what is like a cruelty-free item, might be a little bit inaccurate. So I think they're a really good resource. They also have these cheat sheet images which like have all the brands listed for cruelty-free, not cruelty-free, for different like hair care, skin care, body care, you know, everything you might need, makeup, in different countries as well, different high-end, low-end, and you can save those images onto your phone, and then when you're shopping you can whip them out if you're like, oh, I want this product. Is it cruelty-free? Knowing whether they sell in China is hard because it might just be in like duty-free or something. Like, yeah, working that stuff out is really great. So those 2 blogs would be the first place I would start. And then if there are any cruelty-free influencers you find, maybe follow the cruelty-free hashtag. Actually, maybe don't. It's probably like packed with stuff. But just have a look around. Follow people who are like educational things. I'll try and link anything and recommend stuff as well, please, in the comments. There's nothing worse than going into a shop and not knowing what you can and can't buy, or being faced with a wall of products that you just think, I can't buy any of this because I'm unsure. Once you've kind of understood the kind of breadth of what you could or couldn't use, it might be good to make some low-key rules for yourself on how you're going to approach being cruelty-free. For me personally, I am cruelty-free, but I will still use brands who are owned by an umbrella brand that owns not cruelty-free products. I believe, again, in putting my money into those companies, instead of them like dying off and being discontinued, I'd rather put my money into them to show the bigger company where I'm happy to spend within their range of stuff, if that makes sense. Other people might choose to go vegan and cruelty-free. Other people might say, okay, I'm not going to buy any products that have that are under an umbrella brand that have other cruel products. Other people might opt for just doing their makeup because they think other stuff is more necessary than makeup. You know, there is any way you can go about it, but I think it helps at the beginning if you make some kind of loose, broad but important rules for yourself so you know how you're going to approach being cruelty-free. I think the next step is to sort out what you already have. I remember going through all my stuff and working out what was cruelty-free, what wasn't cruelty-free, and kind of getting to grips with which brands were and weren't, and where I would need to replace things in the future with a different alternative branded product. I can't remember, I think I used to use a Maybelline mascara. Maybelline's not cruelty-free, unfortunately, so I was like, okay, cool. What alternatives do I have? I personally feel like you should use up those cool products. I still have, I think, 1 or 2 products that I'm just like, oh, I can't lose you. I use you very slowly. I think I've got Velvet Teddy by MAC and Cruella by NARS. They're both lip products, and they're the only things I still have. But I remember at the beginning I was just like working my way through stuff, finishing that Bourjois bronzer, like, you know, and like also brushes. Like, I don't think you should, like, it creates so much excessive waste to go throw away your brushes and buy new ones. I would be personally into keeping my brushes and making them last longer. So yeah, for me personally, I wouldn't advocate like throwing away every brand that isn't cruelty-free in your stash of things. Like, I just don't think that's necessary. I would just seek to change things in and out as you go. So the first thing that's probably going to go, which is also maybe the most challenging, is your essentials. And by that I mean your deodorants, your toothpastes, things that are you use every day, multiple times. These, unfortunately, are some of the hardest products to get affordably cruelty-free. So frustrating. I guess there's just like no incentive for people to make like a cruelty-free toothpaste brand and stuff like that. But there is hope. At least in the UK, Superdrug owned brand products are all cruelty-free, so I use their toothpaste. And then in terms of deodorant, I really like the Urban Outfitters deodorant they've just released in the citrus tea scent. It's so nice. It's about £8, so it's a bit more expensive than you might want to spend on your deodorant, but it's huge. It lasts a really long time. I've still not used my first one up, and I got it like at the beginning of the year, February time. So yeah, it really depends on what you're happy to spend on. I'm sure Superdrug own brand do deodorant as well. Yeah, it's a challenge, and I'm really sorry if that's the first thing that runs out for you. It's taken me a really long time to transition those items because there just wasn't much choice until really recently. And even then, like, you'll test a deodorant, it just won't work. Like, these natural deodorants, they're not great. Give it a Google, keep researching, see what you can find out, and then find something that fits your price point. My first port of call would be Superdrug. Dry shampoo is another one. I believe the brand Collab is cruelty-free. I've been thinking about doing a video where I talk about all of the essentials and what I personally would recommend, both low end and high end, to replace your cruel products. I shouldn't really call them cruel, your non-cruelty free products. If you would like that video, please leave a comment or a like, or just let me know, tweet me. There are so many ways. If you've got a health food store, you are sorted for like hand soap and stuff. That's the hardest bit, so I really admire you when you get to that stage. The next thing that's probably going to run out is hair care. Hair care is also sometimes a little more challenging. However, I would really recommend the Body Shop and Lush. They are slightly more expensive, maybe by £1 or £2, especially like Lush goes up a little bit. But in terms of the high street, they are the king and queens of cruelty-free hair care. If you're happy to go higher end, I love the brand Pureology, especially for coloured hair. I love the brand Way, they're very cool. And then who else do I love? Oh my god, Bumble and Bumble. I use Bumble and Bumble all the time. So yeah, whatever your price point, hopefully you can find some hair care. It is something that does tend to be slightly more expensive, cruelty-free, but hopefully by just like £1 or £2. I think finding cruelty-free hairdressing is a lot more challenging. I would opt for a salon that uses Bumble and Bumble or Pureology, but I'm still not at that point. My salon still uses Redken, and that sucks. But I ask them every time, can you use Pureology? The same actually applies for nail care and manicures, pedicures, etc. I find that really difficult to find a cruelty-free nail salon. There is 2 in London, so I have yet to try them. Hopefully I will soon. Let's talk about skincare. Skincare is probably the next thing that will run out, and is by far the thing I think with the biggest range of products other than makeup. There is so many places that you can buy cruelty-free skincare. I personally am a Space NK fan. Oh, love Space NK, but it is on the pricier side. I love my skincare. I'm pretty sure I have a blog post all about the best starter kit of cruelty-free skincare that I personally have found. I'll link it below, but that uses brands such as Liz Earle, which is available in Boots. Who else do I use? Lush, Body Shop, always very good for skincare. There's also so many independent brands that do amazing skincare. Wildsmith is one of them, Votaries another. They're all based in the UK, they're amazing. So if you get the chance to use an independent brand, this is the best place you could use an independent brand. Maybe next is perfume, if you wear one every day. Perfume is a really frustrating one because there are quite a few, again, independent or like cruelty-free perfume brands, but it is taking a lot more research. I'm just having a look at my perfume selection. I use Diptyque, I use Glossier's You perfume, oh, amazing. What else do I have? Byredo, Tocca, oh, I love Tocca, Tocca's amazing. So there are some really luxurious, nice, cruelty-free perfume companies. It does suck to change your scent, but you can nearly always find something similar or a dupe that is cruelty-free. Perfume is such an investment and such a luxury as well. Like, you can ask for it for Christmas or something to try and like save you some money and make sure that, like, you know, you have your stock for the year. Is that how people do perfume? That's how I do perfume. In terms of body wash and body care, similar kind of time. I'd imagine you're running out of like your moisturizers, your body wash. Again, Body Shop's amazing. There's good options in Superdrug and Boots. There are a bunch of options in Lush. Lush is the best. I always get my body care from Lush or Liz Earle pretty much solidly. Other great options for body care are Aesop or This Works. There are just some really nice places for body care. Body care makes it sound like self-care. It's quite nice. Okay, now I think we're on to like the final cosmetic thing, and that is makeup. I think that will last quite a long time. Not something to stress about too much in terms of like, oh god, it needs to be replaced really fast. But it is good to know what you would like to try when those products do run out, because makeup is so personal. Like, sorry, I went and got the door. As I was saying, it's not the end of the world if I am using a body wash that isn't really a body wash that I would typically use, or if I'm just at my boyfriend's house, I use whatever they've got. Doesn't bother me at all. However, if I am using the wrong shade of foundation or the wrong formula of foundation, I feel like a different person. If my foundation is heavy coverage, I literally feel like an alien. So I think makeup is so personal and so important to people that really, like, it's something to prioritize and something to really look into for yourself. There are so many amazing cruelty-free makeup brands. Might be more so than skincare. There is like a lot, which is amazing. I love playing with makeup. There's also a really good range of higher end stuff. So if you were a MAC Cosmetics lover or Estee Lauder or Chanel, for example, there are so many alternatives that are really high quality. However, if you're more of a high street person, there are still many amazing options. Again, The Body Shop is one of the most fail-safe brands for this kind of product. There's also e.l.f. If you go online, e.l.f. are great. There's Pacifica, who I've never tried, but look really good. I personally always get the Soap & Glory Super Cat Liner, £6, amazing, has a really secure lid, doesn't dry very easily. There are a really good number of options if you have a proper hunt. Holland & Barrett and like natural shops also stock a really good range of stuff. In the mid-range, I really love Glossier. If you know me, you know I'm a Glossier stan, but they're just amazing. So Glossier is definitely one of my faves for that like nice mid-range. And then on the more luxurious end, there's stuff like Hourglass. Oh, Hourglass. Too Faced, if you're into their makeup. There's Becca, there's Milk Makeup, there's Cover FX. There are so many options. We're so lucky. I believe Illamasqua might also be cruelty-free. Urban Decay definitely is. There are like, I can't even tell you, there are so many makeup options. The one thing I really haven't felt that hard is the makeup transition. Everything else has been a little bit more challenging for me personally. Makeup, no challenge at all for me. And the final thing, which is something I've embraced in recent years, is telling more people about your decision to go cruelty-free. And I mean that on two levels. First of all, in terms of your friends and family, and just if it comes up in conversation, chatting about it, why you made the decision, why you think it's important. It doesn't have to be a big fanfare. You don't have to be trying to convince people. Just share your own feelings. I think that works the best. Also, don't shit on people and their decisions. I may not agree with a lot of decisions my parents make, for example, but I respect that they've made that choice. However, I will always encourage them to change their choice through positive affirmation of my own choices. On another level, you can talk to the wider world on social media. Obviously, that's your family and friends primarily, but there are so many people out there who are interested. Share your cruelty-free discoveries with hashtags and on Twitter and on Instagram and on YouTube. Like, tell people about these products, recommend products to people, and make everyone else's life easier. So you can be a positive advocate for cruelty-free living. I should also add, cruelty-free is a phrase that is often only applied to cosmetics and cosmetic products. That's why I use it in that context. I often get feedback saying, how can you be cruelty-free if you're not buying vegan? And it's like, well, this is just a term that has been coined for this particular part of this industry. You 100% have a valid point, and I don't know why we've called it cruelty-free and cruel. It just is. That is quite challenging at the moment, to change the nature of a word that has been associated for so long with the beauty industry. If anyone makes any progress on it, let me know. So you can talk about it on social media. You can talk about it with your friends and family. You can also contact the companies directly and tell them why you are no longer using their products. This isn't necessarily the positive affirming side of things. This is more like just kind of a bit more confrontational, but I do this often, especially if a company or a brand reaches out to me and offers to send me products, or a lot of the time just start sending them. I send them a very firm email, clear, polite but firm, explaining why I can't use the products and why I would love it if they turn cruelty-free. So that is really important, and the more companies hear from you, the more they know you will be boycotting them and not spending your money with them, the more likely they are to change. China is a big market, but the more people we can discourage from joining it, the better, and the more people we can encourage to leave, that's the best. Individual choices do make very small but significant differences, and if you're in a position where you can make those choices, then please do, and tell the world about them, because it will make things better. I think that's all the advice I've got, but I hope it really helps, and I hope that you learned some things, and I hope you can make the decision to go cruelty-free. I would love it if you did. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new here, please subscribe. I make videos about beauty, fashion and lifestyle and all the fun things in between. A little bit of sex in there, a little bit of period stuff, you know, there's a whole bunch. And share this video far and wide to whoever may use it. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in my next one.